Hey everybody, it's Johnny, and welcome to another edition of the Make 100 Healthy Show and podcast. This is the show that we interview interesting people that are trying to improve their own lives and the lives of others. And with me is a dear friend that I'm so proud of, has just put out a new book. His name is Paul Geiger. A lot of you folks might know Paul from his many unique talents and experiences in the past. Paul has just put out a new book, and it's called Better Business Speech: Techniques, Tricks, and Shortcuts for Public Speaking at Work. Welcome, Paul.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Congratulations on the book.
Well, thank you so much.
And so let's talk about how the book came about and how it relates to the folks at home that are viewing this. How could they improve their life by, getting a copy of Better Business Speech?
Well, the clients that I work with in New York City come to me because something is holding them back in their careers, and they've sort of pinpointed that it's their communication style.
Okay.
Whether it's something physical or mental, they probably don't even know that there's a difference between the two. So I sort of I diagnose what's going on, I ask questions, I watch them speak, we talk about different concepts, and then from me, they're looking for a methodology. They're looking for action steps to try to make those changes. It's one step just to talk about it and be aware of it, which is an important step, as you know.
The first step.
The first step, you have to become aware, but then, is there someone who can give me action steps that will take me from week 1 to week 2 to year 3 to year 10?
Well, and that's what you put together. You put together processes
Without
and a methodology. So this is a methodology that you've developed as a speech coach over the years. And what really was your aha moment to come up with your own methodology?
Well, in the same way that I was sort of pressing their feet to the fire about coming up with really clear messages and developing a sense of forward momentum, I thought about this book and I said, well, there's so much to cover because there are so many moving parts that go into it. So how do you rise up to the highest level, to that overview, and sort of divide it, as I said before, into physical and mental? And I broke it down to, on the physical side, it's just your breathing. And I know that sounds really simple. And on the mental side, it's something that I call bumper stickers, which is coming up with a characterization of what it is you want to say, as opposed to overstuffing a presentation or overstuffing a message with too many details.
So breathing and bumper stickers.
That's it.
That is the nuggets inside the book.
It's pretty simple.
He's made it very simple, but taking people from a fear of public speaking, which is probably one of the greatest fears that people have, which, some folks that are extroverts like ourselves might not really be able to relate to that, but they say that that's one of the biggest fears in the world.
It is.
So how do you take someone who has this innate fear to speak and to turn them into a compelling presenter?
Well, the first step, again, begins with awareness. You have to become aware that unlike the misconception that some people are just not bothered by the forces that are at work, really those individuals have simply habituated with the fear, the energy of attention, the sense of judgment, the fear of consequences. If you don't know that all of those forces are at work, then all you do is lump it together and just go, I'm just nervous. But what people who are able to public speak are able to do is become accustomed to that. So there are ways, first again, with awareness, and then by accessing your breathing, you're able to better control your physical responses. Most people have a fight or flight response when they're suddenly blindsided by, there's that energy again.
The deer in the headlights.
That's right. So what you really need to do is you need to have some sort of sense of control over your body. You do that with your breathing, accessing your breathing in a way that you may not be accustomed to doing.
So it's a lot of deep breathing exercises and to try to avoid shallow breathing.
Exactly. And obviously if your body gets tight and you get stress in your body, you are going to breathe in a shallow manner. So it's also a matter of understanding how important it is to flow on breath when you're speaking.
Right.
How important it is to take a preparatory breath, then lock it into your body, be connected to your body so you don't feel like you're floating out in space and suffering from the nerves.
So for those of you at home that are watching our segment, you're probably asking yourself, how do I benefit from what Paul does? Well, if you have a meeting at work at a conference table, or you have to go speak to a small group, or you're making a presentation in front of 500 people, this is your chance to build your own personal brand. And in this day and age, that's really what we have. So I know that there's a lot of our DJ friends out there, and there's a lot of people in the entertainment business that do this for a living. And you might have an innate talent, but learning the techniques, the tricks, and the shortcuts to public speaking at work or on a gig is a very valuable advantage, and you only have one chance to make a first impression.
Exactly.
And so through Paul's public speaking methodology, tell me some of the success stories of people that were just like, there's no way this guy's ever going to do it, and he crushed it.
Well, I've had some clients. I've had a client who's actually given a TED Talk, who I've worked with, whose voice, he didn't have quite the right tone that he wanted, had no idea how to adjust his tone.
Okay.
So we worked on recognition of long and short vowel sounds, accessing more breath, slowing down the rhythm of his speech. And in the end, he was able to very successfully give that TED Talk.
So you prepped him for the TED Talk?
I did.
Wow, that's the pinnacle, right? TED Talks are, if you get your speech on a TED Talk, literally you could have 1 million, 2 million, 5 million viewers. That's correct, right?
Exactly. It's a wonderful platform. He was also an author and wrote a wonderful book, and from that, obviously his profile is out there. It's widespread.
Nice. Okay. Well, that's the benefit of him taking advantage of that one moment of opportunity and being prepared for that through hiring Paul and being mentored by Paul, so that when he had the opportunity to present his story to the world, he crushed it. And I'm going to give you one more plug here. It's Better Business Speech by Paul Geiger. Techniques, tricks, and shortcuts to public speaking at work. Now, we talked about work, and we also talked about, you talked about the mental and the physical.
Mm-hmm.
And for the folks that are watching that are associated with Make 100 Healthy, our whole goal is to live a long life with vitality and balance. And now, Paul, communication is, of course, a social skill, but it's also a mental skill to be able to have the right mindset. And it's also a physical skill to make sure that you're breathing right and putting yourself in the right mindset. I wanted to take it to a personal level with you because I've always admired your physical fitness. Your diet is really one that has kept you in such great shape. And with our Make 100 Healthy Club, we've talked about it. What are some of the things that Paul Geiger does to stay young and vibrant and to stay on top of your game so you're at a peak level?
Well, I do the things that I believe that I can do to help myself.
Okay.
Now, one of those things was an intuitive decision to become a vegetarian at a fairly young age.
I remember when you did that.
Yeah.
What was the motivation at the time you did that?
It was something, I would love to say that I just believed that it was more healthy, and I just believed that
I'm not buying it, Paul.
there was some sort of cruelty to animals that was so heartfelt, though, all of those are factors. But it was just something, intuitively I was just drawn to it. And so I decided I would try it for a while. And instead of it just being a fad or a trend, it became a lifestyle.
And so from being a vegetarian, so you don't eat any meats at all?
I don't. No.
Any fish?
But
Fish
I'm,
you do,
no,
right?
no, no
So
fish.
you're fully veggie?
I am, but I'm not a vegan. I am a
Okay.
vegetarian. I do, cheese and milk products and occasionally eggs, food that has eggs.
So you have to have the protein to be able to keep your energy level up, right?
Well, it's interesting, and there's a lot of controversy there. I know that when I first became a vegetarian, I was very aware of or concerned with my protein intake. So I would keep track of how many grams of protein. And
Okay.
I remember getting really, really busy at that point in my life.
Right.
Early on, I believe my daughter was just born, and I had a lot of other things to focus on. And I realized after 6 months, I had absolutely lost track of my protein intake.
And it didn't
but
matter.
yet, it didn't matter.
So it just became your lifestyle.
Right. I'm not saying that that would work for everybody, but it did work for me.
Well, and one of the things that we discussed, and one of our initiatives at Make 100 Healthy and our foundation, is that our goal is to help reduce obesity in our country. And it's really a terrible problem. And most of the reason is the lifestyle eating choices that people make. So our goal is to help our fellow Americans grow 1 million non-GMO vegetable gardens in 5 years or less. Now, being a vegetarian, this is right up your alley.
Sure.
We're looking to bring the concept of the victory garden back. What do you share? What can you share with the people that are on the fence about the value, the benefits of growing your own vegetables and eating food that is the closest to being, to the earth?
Well, I think that anyone conceptually would say that that's a great idea. But then, just like things in the book, great ideas, but in the execution
Right.
is the real, difficulty. So for people to put those gardens together, they may think that it's too much work, that it's too inconvenient, that they just don't have the circumstances to do it. And as we spoke earlier, I don't think that that's true. I think that those are misconceptions that need to be put aside. And we need to be able to show people that in fact it can be convenient. And I think if there are other alternatives to what would be categorized as unhealthy foods, most people would make the choice to go the healthier way.
And now let's look at our society today. Kids today, they're on their computers, they're on their laptops, they're on their phones, they're playing video games. Back in the day, back in World War II, we had victory gardens. And victory gardens were a way for people to create sustainability, canning over the winter in case the food supply was interrupted because of the war. And then if you had extras, you put it down to the armory and you helped support the troops. So the victory garden was a patriotic duty. So our mission, and I think it's a noble mission, is that we want to bring back the concept of the victory garden, but the victory garden is for your health. So we appreciate, the support of people like you that can extol. It's not that hard. And when you eat your own tomatoes, your own arugula, your own salads, there's nothing as delicious as that. And when you're not used to that, when you first taste your first tomato that you grow, oh my God, it's so good. It's so real. So we're all about eating clean, living healthy. Now, physically, on the physical side, we have our Make 100 Healthy Club. And the Make 100 Healthy Club is really a social community that is positive people that are passionate for life. And really what we have seen, one of the best predictors of longevity is how socially connected you are. What close relationship you have with people that you can count on. It's so important if you lose that connection. So Paul, I want to invite you to be a member of the Make 100 Healthy Club and for allow me to cheer you on and you to cheer me and everybody else on and share what keeps you young and vibrant, because that's what it's all about. People can do things on their own, and often they do. Like you lost track of your protein schedule and it didn't matter. But real sustainability, I really believe it takes a village. And so at the Make 100 Healthy Club, our whole goal is to bring like-minded people together that are sharing the best practices, whether it's in finances or whether it's in social interaction. Our friend Holistic Mario is all about the environment and nutrition. So if you put these things together, you have a balanced life, and you're a man that doesn't just talk the talk, you walk the walk. So your fitness regimen on a weekly basis, what would you say keeps you the most fit?
I would say the thing that keeps me the most fit is a pretty diligent schedule of going to the gym.
Okay.
Working out. I don't love doing it. I love the results. I don't know if anybody loves doing it, and I know it's not always convenient to fit it in, but I made a commitment to myself quite a few years ago that I would work out at least 3 to 4 times a week.
And you
so
kept
I do.
that.
And I kept that, and I make the best use of that hour. I just put in an hour, but my body is used to now working out at that level, running, hard, working out, using various machines, a good mixture.
You said you really like the TRX machines.
I do. I like using my own body weight
Yeah,
because it keeps
no, I
me
like it
honest.
too. Yeah,
If I get fat, I got to lift my body.
There you go. And the fact is, I like the TRX for stretching.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, we are interviewing Paul Geiger, the author of Better Business Speech. These are techniques, tricks, and shortcuts for public speaking at work. You can get the book at paulgeiger.com. Of course, it's available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble all over the world. But if you want to get close to the man himself, if you want to go to the source, this is a guy who poured his heart out and put together all these tips and techniques to help people be better. And that's what we're all about at Make 100 Healthy. So, Paul, I want to thank you for being a guest on the show.
Thank you, John.
And I wish you the best of luck with this. I know that you're on a very heavy interview schedule. We just saw an interview of Paul being interviewed on the NASDAQ network, which is really cool. They were students of yours, right?
I work with a lot of these people, a lot of professionals, and a lot of people who want to be better personal communicators as well.
So there you have it. This is Johnny saying nothing but thanks. I hope you enjoyed our interview with Paul Geiger. Get your copy of his book, Make Your Life Better, and I'll talk to you soon.